one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. This gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
Winning has a price. And leadership has a price. So I pull people along when they didn't want to be pulled. I challenge people when they don't want to be challenged.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps because they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa Bars forever, like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Cashing in, say the way Liv did, well, that's like winning the lottery, isn't it? And I don't need to win the lottery because I work my ass off every week for a paycheck.
Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Saint. I am your host, Saint. Like my man Shannon be saying, the proprietor of This Here Club. But listen, bro, listen. I'm pretty sure today, if you listening to this, you done thought about giving up, quitting, not continuing to chase that dream. Keep going. I cannot stress that enough. It's different when you hear somebody who done made it say it before. And maybe by the time you hear this, I would have made it by now. But I'm telling you right now, I haven't made it. Nowhere near. So all I do every day is chase a dream. Try to put effort and work into every day making my dream a reality. So this ain't somebody who rich, who done made it already saying, giving you the same spiel. I'm in the same position you in right now, most likely. Keep going. It's like me and my homies had a conversation at work the other day. And I cannot stress this enough. To put in the level of effort that you put in for a job that you don't want, for a career that you could, it's not a career, for a job, for dead end jobs that you don't want to work, but you still look at how much effort you put into them. And think about how much effort you put into making your dream a reality. I'm telling you right now, the person who live a life where they consistently go towards their dreams, consistently fight to accomplish their dreams, who understand I would rather die than live a life that don't involve me living my dream. People who are like that, they understand I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. It's a lot of podcasts out there. You might not think if you are a podcaster, oh, there's no way I can make it. There's already so many podcasts out there. No way nobody gonna look at mine. Keep going. Keep going. If you good at what you do, if you know it. Now, this ain't, let me specify this. This is more of a sports type of thing I'm talking about. If you say you want to be a sports podcaster or you want to be like some type of news podcaster, I'm not talking about these people who get on podcasts and talk about hooking up with people, sex that they done had, sleeping with multiple people. I don't listen to those. I don't listen to podcasts at all, but I definitely don't listen to those because I don't care to hear nobody's thug stories. That's why I don't sit on here and tell y'all mines. I don't care to hear nobody's stories about how they've been to prison and all that shit. I don't care about the stories of fighting and shit like that. I don't sit here and tell you mines. Like this notion that, you know, drama got to contain fight stories, sex, and all these other ridiculous things that people put on podcasts. That's not for me. That's not gonna never be for me. I get very I'm just curious as to why people listen to those things. But at this point, I kind of realize why they do it. But that's neither here nor there. But what I am saying is keep going, bro. You will regret living a life where you never chase your dreams. I promise you. That is a tough life to live. I still remember the day I came home from Wendy's. Working at Wendy's, came home from a long shift. And I really laid down and said to myself, bro, I'm only living to pay my rent right now. For the last 2, 3, 4 years, I've been just living to pay rent. I go home, smoke, play the game. But it even got to the point where I no longer wanted to play the game. That's how tiresome my life became and how unfulfilling it became. Imagine living through that every day. It turned you bitter. It turned you angry. It turned you cold. It killed you inside. So why not take that chance to continuously go? Now, listen, I understand. You got to be realistic. Some people just need that said to them. You got to be realistic. I got kids. I got this. I got that. I got this. I got that. Most dreamers got something they got to deal with. And I think most of the time we don't life is a thing of choices, man. Point blank, period. And I understand every choice you make is not as determining a factor in your path as you might think. But oftentimes it is. The little decisions you make here and there usually are the ones that make the biggest differences. But just keep going, because you don't know what little detail somebody might walk upon from listening to something you do, from seeing something you do, from getting a piece of artwork that you created. Like, keep going. It is 1 billion+ people on this planet. Why do you think you can't be somebody who becomes successful? I tell myself every day, I gotta make it. I have no choice. Not just because of that, but because I want to. Because I want to give my family a better life. I done seen my mama work for so long. I've never seen her be able to just take a break, enjoy life, and not have to worry about anything. It would be phenomenal to put her in that type of lifestyle forever. So keep going. It's people that's dependent on you. Now, if you somebody who has yet to love yourself enough or anybody else enough, then you're not going to understand this message. You have to understand you want more for yourself and the people around you. See, at one point in time, I was the same way. I kept telling people, bro, I really don't care for much. All I need is a single bedroom apartment, a nice little job, and I'll be straight. I can die like that and I'll be fine. I don't need much in life. And then as I got older, I realized, nah, it ain't really that I need more in life, even though I did start wanting more out of life. My family deserved more out of life, specifically my mom's. Once you start to love people more than you love yourself, I'm telling you, it's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing. Now, for some people, that's like relationships. Now, you done heard me talk about relationships on here. I'm not a relationship type of guy. Been in a lot of them. Well, I've been in none of my relationships, except for 2 of them, lasted longer than a couple months. That was because I break up after a couple months. Because my ADHD I done had that. I was diagnosed with that way back when. I never talk about it or bring it up because I'm not the type of person, because I done very much fine while having that. And a lot of people have it. Not to mention, I have it and I feel like I'm just as smart as the next person, just as creative, an artistic mind. People will be like, oh, your mind travels because of ADHD. Like, I used to wouldn't be able to be sat in the back of a classroom near a window. That was some of the conditions. Like I couldn't sit in their window because if he sat in their window, he was instantly going to look out of it. Couldn't sit in the back of the classroom because he would immediately stop paying attention. It was a lot of different things that the doctors was telling me that I had to basically go by once I was diagnosed with it. But listen, I never used that as an excuse, for one, because a lot of people have it. But on top of that, I've always said to myself, bro, a creative mind is an ADHD mind, bro. If you creative, you just gonna have things flowing through your head all the time, bro. And then put your dreams on paper. Write them down or something so you could see them and remind yourself of it every day. Because some people don't live in their dreams. Some people can't truly see. They say it, but they really can't truly see themselves doing it, living it, becoming it. So do it every day. It's a lot of dreams I want to accomplish. Some people think, that my only goal is pertaining to sports. And I remember I told this dude like 2 weeks ago that I wanted to start my own sports network, and he died laughing, bro. And that didn't bother me at all. Your dreams should sound ridiculous to other people, especially to those who don't have big dreams of their own. I know people whose only dreams is to work meaningless I don't want to say meaningless, but to work regular mundane jobs. They want to be cogs in the machine, and that's fine. I have no interest in living like that. I have no interest in living paycheck to paycheck for my entire life. I have no interest in going in and clocking into a everyday mundane. I got no interest in that. But it's some people out there who do. I have a very creative mind. I want to create movies, create shows, talk sports, create a sports network, create a great sports show, create a space where I get to meet so many legendary sports stars of today, tomorrow, and ones we have yet to even see. So keep going. Keep going. You're going to get there. With that being said, bro, how are we doing tonight, bro? A little bit of a long intro. 9-minute intro right there. But we got some things to talk about. The NFL franchise tag day it started Tuesday. Tuesday is past. It's Wednesday now. But today teams can, yesterday teams could start putting the franchise tags on players. The news didn't come out for a lot of dudes being tagged. I'm pretty sure that shit will hit the streets like cocaine in the 80s very soon. News that dudes is being tagged. But I'm also not here to talk about that. I'm actually here to talk about, I'll make a different video for the tag thing. I'm actually here to talk about the NBA. And it's NBA season for me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I did not like the All-Star game for the first time in a long time. My mama didn't like it either, whichever one you want to say. Either. Potato, tomato. Bro, me and my mom was watching it. I went over to my mom's place today, and she was watching our little cousin. And what's so crazy is we was watching. It's not really crazy. We was watching a show where they was teaching my little cousin, who like not even a year old yet, or actually she is a year old. And we was showing her. She was looking at this. What is that shit called on YouTube? Something's Corner. It's like this little black car animated girl. I cannot remember her name to save my life, but they like make nice songs out of like nursery rhymes and things like that. Like they count to 100 and they got this ad lib in there where like they be like 76. Yeah, keep counting. Bro, I think it's called Gracie's Corner on YouTube, bro. I'm on, matter of fact, I'm on YouTube right now. I'm looking at YouTube while I'm doing the show. Well, I'm not necessarily looking at YouTube while I'm doing the show, but like I'm on YouTube while I'm doing the show. So I can actually go. I'm not going to play the song in the background. I'm just going to see if that's the name of the that is the name of the YouTube channel. I'm not going to play none of the songs because copyright and all that good shit. Yeah, Gracie's Corner, GRACIE 'SCORNER, Gracie's Corner. That's what it's got 1.49 million subscribers. It is a phenomenal channel if you want to teach kids stuff. But it's one video on here that I cannot advocate that you play for your kids, bro. And I think it's this Good Morning song. Or no, it's not the Good Morning song. It's not the Good Morning song. The baby be jigging in that Good Morning song, but it's the song where they learn in long letters like A, and instead of saying apple is pronounced apple, she kept saying April. I'm like, that's not how you say that. Like, you could have literally took a word that had a long A and used that. Like apron. Why did you use apple? And apple does not make a sound. Apple, not apple. I'm like, bro, you could have just used apron. And then when they was doing banana, they said that shit wrong too. I'm like, wait a minute. And my mom started laughing. I'm like, bro, we changing this. I said, cause we can't have them listening to this one. I said, cause they pronouncing words all wrong. This is not how you pronounce these words. I cannot have my niece going to school one day talking about some, hey, I like apples. Oh, that was the song. I like to eat apples and bananas. That was the song, I believe it was, but they remixed it. On Gracie's Corner, it sounded way better than that. As mostly every song they play on there do. So you got to understand, the song sounded different than that. But they was pronouncing all the words wrong to how you say stuff just to try to teach kids how to pronounce the A sound and the B sound and all that. I'm like, bro, why don't y'all use things that actually use the long sounds of these letters, not the short? Like, what is going now? I know if you somebody who listening to this right now, you're like, bro, this dude is not finna take us to English class right now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I never failed an English class in my life. I actually done been phenomenal at that was actually my best subject in school. I'm not counting like PE and shit like that. That's ridiculous. I'm talking about like out of all the subjects like math, science, and all that goofy shit, English done always been my best one. That's why I can articulate myself rather well. I'm very good at thinking, putting thoughts together in sentences and shit like that. And critical thinking class is a part of English class, in my opinion. I took that in college. I took 2 different critical thinking classes. Both of them was great classes. Especially because it felt like they was more of like debate type classes than anything. But critical thinking is a great class to get to know how people really critically think, and to teach people how to like, you don't really think you could teach somebody how to critically think about things. But I noticed after time sitting through so many different classes and shit, it's just natural that once you've been through a class like that, you do start to think about, like, you're not going to remember everything from a class. I'm often shocked at people who can remember every little thing they ever learned in school. That's absolutely insane to me, because I couldn't tell you nothing but 2 + 2s in the basic maths that I learned in school. Finding the value of X has just been lost on me. Every single female I dated helped me get through math. So listen, and I'm gonna tell you, it's crazy. People thought my best subject was math at one point in time because I kept getting high scores on the EOGs back in the day. They was EOCs when I got to high school. I never failed the EOC until I got to high school. My first EOC that I ever failed, I think, was my senior year math one. I'm not going to get into that. None of the shit that was on the test we had learned in class, and I'm being dead ass serious with you right now. Imagine opening the EOC after you done spent the whole fucking year basically learning this bullshit to take the EOC, and nothing on the EOC was anything that you had learned. It was a 2 + 2 question on my EOC. When I was in high school, I'm not BSing with you right now. It was a 2 + 2 level question on my EOC when I was in high school, 12th grade. Mind you, you know how some people have phenomenal senior years and shit like that? Yeah, my senior year was a dub. I hated my high school. I still hate my high school. Really wasn't cool with a shit ton of people in the high school, but I was always a cool person. So, you know, naturally I was going to vibe with people. I tell people all the time, I don't really talk. Middle school was a funner time for me than high school. I'm gonna be quite frank with you. 12th grade year, I mean, high school was cool. 12th grade year was the best because I was rarely at school. I came and I left. Like, I rarely was in school for longer than like an hour or a couple minutes. Like, 12th grade year for me was just the start basically of me wilding out. Well, I was already wilding out before that, but 12th grade year was definitely the year I was like, yeah, I'm definitely wilding out, because I was done with all my courses. Basically, I had enough credits to graduate except for in one class, and that was done. That class wasn't an everyday class for me. And then you don't get sent home, or you don't lose. You can't fail a class for missing a certain amount of days. So 12th grade for me was just basically, yo, buddy never coming to class. I'm finna be taking the bus and stopping and going. I shouldn't be saying all this stuff because my mama could end up hearing this. I was skipping school left and right in my 12th grade year, or coming and leaving early. Like, bro, I hated going to school in my 12th grade year. I was like, bro, I'm ready to go ahead and knock this out, get to college. I didn't want to go to college. I forgot. I never wanted to go to college a day in my life. Now I'm the same type of person that tell people everybody need to go to college at least for one semester, bro. Not one semester, for like a year. College fun as hell if you make it that. It could be whack though if you allow that to. Anyways, we done wasted 17 minutes, bro. 17 minutes. We haven't really wasted those minutes. We doing some good talking. But listen to me. We gotta have a conversation now, because I'm seeing everybody talk about this load management stuff, man. Oh, load management killing the NBA, and oh, bro, and real quick, bro, JJ, bro, I don't know what's going on with you, bro, because yo, JJ Redick really been getting to me lately. I don't know why. I was listening to JJ this morning. It's not that he been getting it to me. It's like, JJ, what are you talking about? This revisionist history on Kawhi when he was playing with that stacked Spurs. Well, not necessarily stacked, even though some people would say that. When they had all the big three and Danny Green over there, those finals where Kawhi won that finals MVP in the finals for the Spurs, he was not nowhere near a top scorer on that team those years. JJ Redick was making it sound like he was, and he was rejecting the notion that he wasn't one of the prolific scorers. He wasn't. Kawhi at that point in his career, I don't even think had put up a 30-piece. So, you know, I understand you like Kawhi. Kawhi great. For some reason, it's hard for people to talk bad about Kawhi. I noticed that. People afraid to be critical of Kawhi, even though to me, he is one of the more overrated resumes that people talk about. Not overrated player, overrated resume. Because I don't think Kawhi should have been the MVP of that finals that year. Tim Duncan should have. And you know how much shit I talk about Tim Duncan. But nonetheless, anybody who defended LeBron James was getting finals MVPs. It's evident by Andre Iguodala. Even though Danny Green could have made a case. But nah, they lost the year. Danny Green went nuts. Either way, Kawhi Leonard's first championship with the Spurs, sure, he played a small part in it. But that motherfucker had Manu and Tim and Tony. Now, Tony wasn't the same Tony. Sure, Manu was still phenomenal. Tim was still phenomenal. Tony was still a good player. And they still had the best role and bench players in the league at the time with and coach. So this like as if Kawhi led that team to a championship by himself with the Spurs, and then his championship in Toronto. They don't win that if the Warriors are healthy. And I don't live in a what if society. But the Warriors are as sure a thing at the time as there were. That was KD. I don't call that a big three because I think it was just a big two between Steph and KD. Those was the two legends on that team. As much as I love Clay and Dre, I think society, because of how much you love Clay, you overrate Clay. Because of how much you hate Dre, you underrate Dre. It's a perfect medium for both of them. They both Hall of Famers, legendary players. Neither of them is as bad as you say or as good as you say. Steph Curry and KD was the needle movers on that team. You take either of them two off or both of them. Well, you take Curry off, and I don't think that's a championship team. You take KD off, they still won 2 titles without him. So I can't even make that argument. I would never try to make that argument. But we're here to talk about load management. And is load management killing the NBA? Is it affecting the NBA? Because I done seen so many people talk about it. Adam Silver talked about it. Danny Green done have been forced to talk about it. They keep asking everybody who former NBA player to come on the show. They talk about it. It's not a single sports show that's not talking about players resting in the NBA. And I heard Nick Wright, analyst who, you know, if you listen to me, I think he is a god-awful analyst because he is unbelievably biased. And I don't care about people being biased. Admit to your biasness and don't try to. If you watch Nick Wright, you can tell he have certain arguments only till he can go back to that argument later and say, well, you know, LeBron and yada. All his arguments is used to set up one of his favorite players. It's never a genuine argument most of the time. It's just literally an argument to set up another future argument because of how biased he is. And that's a lot of the media. Skip Bayless. That's a lot of the media. Very rarely do you see somebody who have the emotions of who have favorites like a Shannon Sharp, but can still speak unbiasedly or can understand when they are being biased and say it and things like that. And I also don't want you to go full Coon City like Emmanuel Acho, who is worse than Nick Wright. Like, I don't like Nick Wright, the human being. That's one thing you gotta understand. Unless I specifically talk about somebody's character, I'm talking about these dudes being bad at the jobs that they have. The personal things that they do in their personal life and shit like that. Who knows? I'm not addressing them personally. Emmanuel Acho, I am always talking about him professionally and his character personally. So I just want to make that very clear. When I'm speaking on Emmanuel Acho, I am fully attacking that man's character, personality, and all that. Because I do not like Emmanuel Acho. How can you not like somebody you never met? You can listen to somebody long enough and tell who they are, what they represent, and the type of person they are. Let's not be stupid here. You can listen to me long enough to understand a lot of my values, what I stand for, what you could say around me, people make that very clear. Emmanuel Acho is so very clearly a coon. Who is so very clearly somebody. I mean, the dude done said some of the most ignorant shit I ever seen. His arguments for dudes is ignorant as all hell. But we're not here to talk about Emmanuel Acho. But before I get off of that topic, I always got to make mention. This is the same man who gets on TV and shits on Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson. But for 2 years, he got on TV and went to bat for Baker Mayfield. He also defended another trash can quarterback right now that I'm trying to remember. Who is this? Derek Carr. And I hate calling Derek Carr a trash can quarterback because I fuck with Derek Carr. Derek Carr is not a good quarterback. Nowhere near good at them two that he always shitting on. So I don't like Emmanuel Acho. But off of that, when I done seen every show talk about these things. But I saw Nick Wright. I got on a little tangent there. When I saw Nick Wright, an analyst who I don't like at all, say something that I agreed with, whose takes I don't like at all, really. When I saw, and Nick do this thing, and I know that Stephen A do this shit too, where they co-host or the people on the show will be trying to talk, and they just gotta get their point. Even if they just got done talking and the other person never talked throughout it, they are not going to let that other person get thorough thoughts out the entire time. Now, some people might say, well, that's how the debate show works. So one person is allowed to continuously cut somebody off, and the other person supposed to sit there and listen to the other person's full thought out. What? That don't even make sense. That's disrespectful as hell. And I noticed Chris Broussard and a lot of dudes who on ESPN First Take, they're very good at dealing with that. Couldn't be me. But Nick Wright said something that I actually agree with. The only three players who he basically feel like should always be able to do the load management is Curry, LeBron, and Kevin Durant. And he said to an extent Kawhi, because of how many more games they've played than everybody else. And I agree with that 100%. But I'm going to go ahead and take it a little bit further. Y'all really got to get over this load management shit. For one, the amount of games that a player... Okay, so let's put it in perspective. Let's say we got 8... Because the only reason y'all doing this is because Kawhi Leonard. And a couple years ago when that big team, I think it was the Heat sat all their stars, or the Spurs sat all them stars that year. Now let's even go back to that time the Spurs pulled that shit. They didn't show up and play in 1 game or 2 games or something like that. Pop sent them home. What about all the other 80, 70 plus games they played that year? The 60 plus. Because I'm pretty sure all of them played at least 70 something games that year. So because they didn't play in, a handful of games, load management is a problem. See, this is my problem with the media, Adam Silver, and I really got a problem with Adam Silver because this dude, Adam Silver, bro, it's kind of like when I look at Speak and I hear Dave Hellman talk, and I'm like, yo, this dude provides absolutely nothing to the debate. I was watching him talk about Lamar today. And once again, when Dave Hellman started talking, I'm like, this dude provides absolutely nothing to the debate. Like, he don't even hop on the super ignorant side like Acho and take a strong ignorance. He just absolutely provide nothing to debates. And I don't know why he like this, but okay. But I mean, it's amazing, bro. You could go to the show and watch one of these things, bro. It make no sense. But this is why I got a problem with Adam Silver and all these people who talk about this load management shit. Because do you ever bring up the fact that these players play far more games than they actually sit out? I don't see people congratulating how LeBron was an Iron Man through his first couple years in the league. I don't see people talk like, and listen, you can play all the Kobe Bryant quotes and shit like that you want to. Kobe, my favorite player all time, my favorite athlete. I don't agree that everybody should have to have the same mentality. And if Kobe needed a rest day, he would have took it. It's simple as that. And they probably would have said he was dealing with some type of injury. See, your problem is they being forefront with you. You beg for honesty, and then when they honest to you, you hate it. You say don't lie to us and say that you really hurt when you're not. Okay, I'm taking a rest day. Oh, load management. These dudes so entitled. What you saw Saturday or Sunday in that All-Star game with those young dudes, that's entitlement. What you see dudes taking rest throughout the season, that's not entitlement. You play 82 fucking games. It's a physical sport. Is it football? No. It's still a very physical sport where dudes tear ACLs, tear ligaments, break bones, have concussions, and all these other type of things. What some people don't realize is a basketball player risks injury every time he dunked the ball. Every time he jump, he can risk an injury based off how he come down. So to sit back and bitch about load management as if load management is truly a problem. How about you get to the real issues of the problem or real problems? Because load management is not an issue. You preach, we preach we want players to be healthy for the biggest games. Well, that's on us. You cannot get mad at players who get hurt when games matter and then get mad at them when they try to manage their load so that they are not hurt when those games matter. You can't have it both ways. This is exactly what I'm saying when I talk about these these Pro Bowl games. You can't say, oh, I want to go out here and have fun. I want these dudes to have fun, not risk getting hurt, yada, yada, yada. But then bitch about them not tackling each other. That makes no sense. You can't bitch about, oh, man, I'm just going to use an example. Curry, we got this game and he hurt. But now Curry healthy and trying to manage his load so he can play in that big game. And now it's, oh, man, I showed up for the game and Curry didn't play. Load management, these dudes is terrible. What? And then you got the moronic ass sports media that will push this narrative without even diving deep into it, without trying to, for one, I don't know when this is going to happen, but at some point in time, somebody got to make a public service announcement to fans that you motherfuckers are not the only reason that these leagues survive. I don't know if you happen to realize this, but sports is probably the biggest earning industry in the world aside from tech. If sports and tech go down, what do we have? You saw what it was like when the pandemic hit and they couldn't play sports, and you saw how rough that was. Could you imagine going the rest of your life without sports? Now, obviously, I'm not talking to somebody who never watches sports directly. Indirectly, I am talking to you because you don't know how many people you deal with on a daily basis who would be so far less easy to deal with if not for the fact they watch sports. You don't even, like some wives who get mad at their husbands. You don't even realize him watching sports is the only reason you're married to him right now. Because that's what keep this man sane. This is his happy place. So you cannot have these type of feelings for sports and then get mad when players rest. Oh, I go out here and work a 9 to 5 and I don't get paid this type of money. Nobody telling you to do that. That's your choice. Oh, but I have to end up getting paid. I don't work from 9 to 5 and I make more than enough money to sustain comfortable living right now. This fallacy that we live in, that, life for the poor, life for the people who ain't athletes is just unsustainable. It's inflation everywhere. Hell, McDonald's drinks ain't even $1 no more. They just went up to $1.29. To be quite frank with you, if you're not using the McDonald's app, and almost now at this point, even if you is, McDonald's just really is not worth the price that they keep spiking things up to. Like McDonald's is spiking. Now I remember when McDonald's double cheeseburgers was damn near $1 or less than that. McDonald's, for the quality of the food and the price that you're paying, is not really worth it no more. I don't really think people should be ordering. Like, I'm a big McDonald's supporter. Not over the recent months, because I don't think the food tastes as good as what I'm end up paying for, even with coupons. So that's just me personally. And that's not McDonald's. That's the workers, because overworked workers naturally are going to have a fall off. Now you might say, oh, well, you know, these overworked workers, they don't make $1 million. If they did, they still want to work. Well, you see millionaires every day still deal with mental health problems because they don't take breaks to care for themselves. It's kind of like YouTubers. I done seen this my whole life, basically, where YouTubers have breakdowns, basically. Like, it feel like everything going great for them, and then randomly they'll break down. You won't see them for a while, or they'll come back and they'll make a video where they crying and stuff like that. And they like, man, I just don't got nobody in my life, and all I do is work for YouTube. And, you know, this was my dream at first. Now it's a hassle. Now it's a hustle. You can't. And some people will be like, well, ain't this what you asked for? Not necessarily. It's like people tell that to athletes. Well, I asked to play the game. I didn't ask for all this bullshit to come with it. But that's I see that happen with YouTubers all the time, because they choose to put their health and their well-being second or third or fourth or fifth, because I got to please these fans on YouTube. It was so hard to get this crowd, to get this audience. I can't take breaks now. This pressure that's put on by fans. I appreciate that NBA players and got to the point where they're like, yo, fans do not dictate what the fuck I do. I'll go out and keep saying that they do, but they don't. Because if more YouTubers and these stars who get rich fast and, they make thousands upon millions of hours of content and never take breaks. As soon as they do, you see the fans, oh man, I'm about to go watch somebody else, bro. Cause why you take a break? Like, I see it all the time when Pat McAfee go on break or something. Fans get mad about it. Like, oh, what I'm supposed to watch now, bro? You make millions to talk about sports, bro. You shouldn't be going on breaks. You shouldn't be enjoying your life. Do you know how insane that type of shit is to say? Like, maybe that's why I don't understand this crave of, hating on people who take load management. Because I have no problem with load management. Now, load management become a problem. I really don't know how it could become a true problem. Like, just, or not even a true problem, a casual problem. Because I'm going to tell you how it could become a real problem. But the way it's going right now, load management's not a problem. That kid who traveled to Utah to see Steph Curry play, but Steph Curry ended up sitting out that night. Oh, fucking well. That's life. I'm not trying to be ignorant, but that is life. At some point in time, people got to stop acting as if in life, ugly shit, unfortunate shit don't happen. It's not because of nobody's fault. Steph Curry not playing that night was smart. And this is not a real scenario. I'm just telling you, like, fake scenario. If Steph Curry didn't play that night, it was probably because he was hurt or managing an injury or trying to recover from a previous set of games. Now, it's completely different if you mad about Kawhi sitting out all the time and what he done the last couple years. That's the extent that it can get ugly. When you got players like Kawhi, even though I'm kind of lenient on Kawhi because the motherfucker really do be hurt all the time. But let's say a motherfucker not hurt, or his things, little nagging problems could be played through. Well, then that's when you have a problem. Where true superstars like a Kawhi Leonard, even though I don't consider Kawhi a superstar, I only consider certain dudes that, but true stars of the game they never play. Now, if you got multiple stars in the NBA missing 30, 40, 50 games a season, that's one thing. But you got dudes missing 5-6 games total after the end of an 82 game season, and fans walking around bitching about, load management. Why do the media not take a break into that? Like, why do they not break that down further? Because in my opinion, another problem with it is you cannot then tell the players the only thing that matters is NBA championships and get mad when they load manage throughout the entire regular season so that they can compete for a championship. It makes no sense. Like, this ridiculous thing that y'all put on athletes, bro. Not only do you need to play all 82 games, you need to be great doing it. Not only do you need to be great doing it, you need to make sure you stay healthy. Not only do you need to do those 3 things, now you need to do all those 3 things again in the playoffs. And on top of that, you better win a championship. What kind of psychopathic reality is y'all trying to put these dudes in, bro? And the weirdest thing to me is when I hear people say, oh, they play a sport, they make millions of dollars, they shouldn't need a break. Bruh, if you knew how insignificant your fucking job was and you go to that shit every day and you be tired and you take as many breaks as you want to, you don't come to work when trust me, I work at FedEx. FedEx is one of the pillars of the world at this moment because you need them to deliver your mail. I can't tell you how many motherfuckers I see at work on a regular basis who don't feel like being there, who don't come most of the time. Bro, let's stop acting like we special and that these dudes is some type of villains or something because they want to take rest days. We see it every day. You yourself probably take multiple rest days. Shit, I know when I get tired after working multiple weeks in a row, I'm taking a rest day, which is kind of funny to me because my rest days, the company should actually thank me because rest days that I take is not paid time off. I'm saving up paid time off. I got a lot of hours for my paid time off right now. I'm not using that when I need a break. Okay. I'm using that on a day where I just straight up don't feel like working. Needing a break and don't feel like working is two different things. I never feel like working. It's very rare that I actually need a true break. A true break come after like 2-3 weeks of work, 4 weeks of work. Cause there's a lot of work you do, unloading trucks and shit or the different type of things you do at FedEx. But this notion that only that only us regular everyday working humans should be able to take breaks and athletes shouldn't because they make millions of dollars. Bro, y'all really, if you really believe in a heaven and hell, I hope y'all know the people who think like that. I'm not the most church going motherfucker, but I would imagine it's a special spot in hell for you. For the type of, because I just feel like y'all the motherfuckers who tell Jesus like, bro, what you mad for? You been sitting in heaven the whole time. It ain't like you had to deal with the shit we deal with now. Like, it just seemed like y'all those type of motherfuckers, bro. Like, it's hard for me to believe that y'all got a space in heaven if that's a real thing. Or in whatever mystical place that you think exists after we die and pass on. And I'm not trying to make it sound goofy or nothing like that. I truly am saying that, like, whatever you believe in, if you believe in a hell, just know if you the type of person who think like that, it's a special hot spot just for you. Because this ridiculousness of athletes cannot take breaks. They have to play the whole way through, specifically NBA players. Like I said, the only two load management things that's got y'all up in arms about this shit is Kawhi and the Spurs. Coincidentally, they played on the same. Kawhi played with the Spurs. So, and at this point, can we even really truly be mad at Kawhi? Because the motherfucker really is hurt. Do you think a motherfucker that's sitting there, and on top of that, this is what's really getting me. You see Kawhi sit out the amount of games he sit out, right? And I told you, the only way it really become a problem is if he's not hurt, and he really is. The man got hurt and sat out the playoffs. You think he just sitting out the playoffs because he don't want to play in the playoffs? Kawhi clearly is an injury-prone player at this point in his career. If you are a fan of Kawhi or a fan of the Clippers, why in the fuck would it matter to you that Kawhi played 82 games in the regular season? Especially when you know how hurt he get. You know if he played that type of minutes in the regular season, he probably won't be playing in the postseason. Why do y'all not accept that players get older like us every day and we can't do the same things we did every day? When I'm 35, I don't expect to still be loading boxes. But if by some unfortunate events I am, I don't expect to be as fast as I was now. I don't expect to be able to do the same things that I did at 21, at 28. Am I saying I'm old? Absolutely not. But what I am saying is the body, while yes, your body can mature and things like that, you can work out and all that. It's just certain things that you don't do as well as you did when you were younger. It's just a natural adaptation of the body, of maturing, of growing, of aging. To expect these NBA players to go out here on a yearly basis, because really this is the sport where people bitch about load management. I don't see people bitching about football players if they wanted to load manage. Mind you, football players also is only playing 17 games for a reason. Imagine if they had to go through 82 motherfucking games. But because I can make an argument, the punishment you take in football through those 17 weeks could damn near be the equivalent of the punishment that the NBA players take throughout 82 plus fucking games. Not to mention, the NBA season starts back up quicker than the NFL season. The NFL season, I think you get like 6 or 5 months in between. The NBA season is like 2 or 3 months in between, if even that. So this load management, like, y'all really need to sit down and look through all, like, go over this shit, bro. Stop just trying to be quick with the, my kid couldn't see LeBron play tonight, so load management is a problem. Like, no. And that's one of my problems with Adam Silver. Because if Adam Silver really for the players, he'd come out and say, well, look at how many games they are actually playing compared to the ones they are not playing. It's not a load management problem. It's a you getting tickets on the wrong night problem. It's a you showing up for the game on a night where the player need to load manage. Like, sports, bro. Sports has become so, fans in sports have become so selfish. So, and maybe they always have been like this, but the way that they have become so openly and vocally selfish towards these athletes, I don't really know how motherfuckers deal with it. I really don't. Cause I be cussing and fussing left and right with these fans, bro. It's like I saw Lamar's thing. Genuine love don't get you nowhere no more. I'm just telling you. These athletes could love fans and love the company and love the grind as much as they want to. But as soon as they actually need to take a load management day, this player lazy. You can't win with these fans, bro. And listen, I say it all the time. I understand every fan in the world is not like this. But I told you also, until proven otherwise, I have come to the reality, down with the machine is not a real thing. People are okay with the machine as long as the machine is not affecting them in a negative way. As soon as the machine begins to affect them in a negative way, it's, oh man, it's the machine. I can't do nothing because the machine against me. But when the machine affecting other people's livelihoods and not yours, there's no problem. Stop bitching, stop complaining, work harder. Soon as you, the machine. So I've realized that over the years. I even saw somebody today say, was it yesterday? Yesterday. I saw a video where somebody's like, he done come to the realization there's not a lot of good people in the world. Like most of the people you meet in your life, you probably could have said to yourself, yeah, life would have probably been better without them. Now, I'm very fortunate that I done met a lot of people in my life who I won't say that about. Now, it's a lot of people who I don't fuck with no more, who I still won't say that about. But it's a good amount of people who I probably met in my life who I could say, yeah, you could have done without that. But every experience is an experience. So I probably would never say that for the simple reason, me being the way I am today, it got a lot to do with growing up quick, learning shit quick, you know. It's just, I wouldn't take none of my experiences away. I appreciate every person I done ran into in life, except, you know, because I'm not talking about like racist people and shit like that. I'm talking about long conversations, long interactions with people in life. Every one of them pretty much taught me something. Taught me what not to do going forward, what not to look for going forward, what not to trust going forward. Just multiple things. What to look for and so, you know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, I don't really say that, but I understand people who, you know, done met a handful of motherfuckers in life where they say, well, you can take all them motherfuckers if you wanted to, and I never met them and I'll be all right. But, you know, that's just the thing. But to me, this notion of, you know, the players got to go out there and kill themselves for us on a nightly basis. I just can't subscribe to it. I'm sorry. I know a lot of y'all want every NBA fan to come out and say, oh, fuck these players. Load management is killing the game and yada. I don't think load management is killing the game. You fans are killing the game. You over entitled fans are killing the game. You throw stuff at players now. Spit at players. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Not to mention, the NBA keep letting y'all get away with this shit. So, you know, to me, at some point in time, players is going to have to stand up for themselves. I understand most players don't feel like, this is the weird thing, because if players come out and say something that they know is true and the fans don't like it, the fans are going to bully them. Let's stop saying they're going to say bad things. Let's just call it what it is. Fans are going to group together to bully said athletes. And so, and you know, in a society where we always talk about mental health and all this bullshit, it's real funny how y'all throw that out the window when it comes to an athlete. I just think that's real weird. How you talk about bullying and all that bullshit, but then when it comes to an athlete, send 1 million of hate tweets. That's not bullying. So, you know, I think that's very weird. But like I said, to me, athletes need to come together and say, yo, the amount of games that we play on a yearly basis is far more games than we miss. Far more. Like most of us, over 90% of us is not even like in our career, we will have played far more games than we have missed. Most of these NBA players in their career probably wouldn't even have missed 100 basketball games. It's like, I wonder, has LeBron James even missed 100 basketball games in his career yet? Like, obviously, you got players who will be hurt for whole full seasons and shit like that, so that's different. But I'm just talking about load managing. How many players can you truly think of that missed on more than 20 games because they was load managing in 1 year? Hell, I could probably name that to you in 2 years. Great players or players who just sit out for load management more than around 20 times in 2 years. So the way y'all bitch about something that's not a real problem is a problem. The way Adam Silver allowed fans to continue to say, oh, I spent money to see this dude play and he ain't playing. Bro, just because you spent money to see him play does not dictate him having to play. This is what I'm saying when I say some of y'all fans is fucking entitled. And this is why I probably don't like Adam Silver. How can you not come out and tell a fan? Now, you can tell NBA players and all this other nonsense. You can tell them this, you can tell them. But you can't come out and tell a fan that you buying a ticket don't mean that you have to see that player. It just gives you a chance of seeing said player. It's just like when you put your coin in one of them dumbass machines to win a prize. It's not a guarantee you're going to win a prize. It's definitely not a guarantee you're going to win the prize that you want to. You might walk away with nothing. That's how gambling works. I don't see them eliminating gambling no time soon. I don't see people bitching like, oh, it's not fair. We keep losing. But Adam Silver keep letting y'all come out and bitch about this. And you know ESPN analysts not going to say nothing about it. I mean, you know that. You know the Fox analysts not going to say nothing about it. But the number of games that these dudes sit out is pale. Is nothing compared to how much they play. I would say that most athletes on a yearly basis don't even miss 20 games in 3 years off of just load management. Motherfuckers is missing games because they really need to miss games. But hey, you work an everyday job. So you couldn't possibly understand what it's like to walk around with so many different ailments to your body when you play a physical sport. So because you can walk around healthy all the time when you do your job, you feel like they should always be able to play. But the reality is, it don't matter what job you work. It's very rare that you're going to be as active at your job as they are. It's just the nature of the beast. So, and then, you know, like I said, you got those cynics who are like, well, they make millions doing this. Yeah, and so do doctors and all them other type motherfuckers. I'm not trying to hear that crap. So, to fix load management, what do? You get the fuck over it. Because it's not a problem with load management. Load management's not a problem. You are the problem. You're entitled. You think because you bought that ticket, that means, they got to play. It don't mean that. And just because you know, I'm not Adam Silver, bro. Y'all getting on my nerves, bitching every time your fucking kids can't see an NBA player. And I got nothing against your kid. But fuck your kid. What make this motherfucker so special that you feel like, oh, let me go tell the teacher and tweet and be so sad, tell my kid to make a sad face because we couldn't see LeBron? Did your kid want to see LeBron or did your punk ass want to see LeBron? Because your kid at the age where he probably don't even know who the fuck a LeBron James is. Your kid at the age where he only been looking at LeBron for the last 2 fucking years. So I'm sure he'll get over it. It's just absolutely unbelievable to me, man. Y'all really trying to kill these NBA players over some fucking load management, man. I tell you. With that being said, though, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with him. And tell somebody you love him, man. I'm looking at this dude wear this Blastoise t-shirt. I'm never going to get to the... Hey, I don't got no problem with people wearing, you know, shirts that's got Pokemon and shit on it, bro. You wear what you want to wear. But can y'all please stop wearing these Walmart brand looking ass shirts, bro? Like, some of these shirts don't look good. Y'all wear them and patronize these ugly ass shirts. And I'm like, bro, you probably can make a shirt that look better than this shirt. And I'm a big sweater guy too, bro. I'm always looking out for the top-notch sweaters, bro. Right now, I'm on my HBC black clothing brand. I'm trying to rack up a whole bunch of black-owned clothing. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, I'm looking at this. Oh, it's a Baja Blastoise. It's still an ugly-ass shirt. They feel like it's too much blank area on it. Bro, you ever seen a shirt with a design? I know we was closing out the show. It's certain shirts where they put the design in the area where it's like, bro, because of where you put this design, and it's usually on the front of the fucking shirt, it's way too much space that don't fit into where you put this design at. So now the shirt look weird because of, maybe that's just me. With that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It With Say. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. You can be anything in the world. Choose to be kind to somebody today, man. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, you know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.